Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my Ark Survival Ascended content. So today folks, I'm so excited because I've made a ton of modifications to the GACHA farm. I figured out a way to make my GACHA farm way more productive than it has been. A lot easier than what I was trying to do before, and honestly I've kind of roped off this donkey hole here because I'm not sure that I'm going to need this anymore, because I think I pretty much figured out a way to make this way more efficient on its own without the use of me having to go harvest stone constantly. And that's with these plant species Y traps. Now I did have the idea that I was going to put the garden up there in the roof. And while it worked great, I got 300% gardening bonus by being up there in, surrounded in greenhouse glass and stuff like that. It's just so much more effective down here now. Even though I don't get the greenhouse effect down here because there's just too much junk above it and stuff, and it's interfering with it getting the greenhouse effect from the greenhouse glass. Even if I encase it in greenhouse glass where it's at, it still doesn't get the greenhouse bonus because of, I don't know, the distance from the roof or junk that's on top of it that casts a shadow, or I don't really know what it is. All I know is I can't seem to get greenhouse bonus inside the base, but I don't care because I want it inside the base, and I want it right here by the gachas because I forgot all about this dude right here, the SIR 5RM8 robot guy, the butler that you can get. I forgot about him and his capability to gather things and put them into boxes for you. I hadn't used him for anything really. I mean, I've kind of played around with him a little bit, but I had forgotten about how on an official server he could do this for you. Now, you can't really automate everything about the GACHA farm because, like I said, I am on an official server. So one of the things that I can do, though, is to have him gather the plant species Y and put them in the vault. So what I've done is you go into his inventory and you put a plant species Y in his inventory, and then you, for me, it's the right menu stick on your controller. You select add as an input, and then it will ask you how many stacks do you want, and you just put the maximum stacks. What that will do is that will tell him to go to this area and harvest those items wherever they're at within a certain radius of his body. So when you look at the crop plot, you'll see the little icon down here where my cursor is that says, if you have it unchecked, it'll say enable automated withdrawal. And that's the little robot symbol right there for the butler guy. What he'll do is when you enable that for each one of these crop plots, he'll come over here and do just what he did right there. You just saw that plant species Y trap disappear. That's because he picked it up. He picked it up, he put it in his inventory, and now we're seeing it in his inventory. And now I can go over to this vault and I can select automated withdrawal, enable automated withdrawal, put the plant species Y in the inventory of a box, so one of them is all you need, and then push in the stick or do whatever controller option you have and select enable as an input. Mine says remove because I already have it selected, but you enable as an input, and then it will ask you how many stacks you want to put in here. Well, for me it's a vault because I want the maximum amount of stacks I can get, so I put 350 because the vault can hold 350 stacks of items. And then you put him on butler mode. You go into his inventory and select this option up here, and then select butler, and boom, he will take off and he will automatically gather all of these plant species Y traps from all these, put them in the box, and then when I get some in the inventory of the box, I just go over here to the box. I'll stand over here to where you can see it happen. Open up the inventory and drop these out of the box. So just popcorn them out and they hit the floor and the GACHA pick them up and boom, they fill their inventory. So the reason why I've got the vault placed in the manner that I do is you kind of have to play around with it a little bit and set it up to where when you popcorn the items out of the vault, they will fall right in front of the GACHA to where they can pick them up. Because they have a certain range right in front of themselves where they actually will notice items laying on the ground and grab them. So like now, this GACHA picked those up and put them in their inventory. And now they're going to start eating the plant species Y trap and making crystals. The cool thing about it is I've got a Pegomastax in range. And the Pegomastax has automated crystal gathering on. So it picks up all the crystals and puts them in its inventory. So basically all I have to do now to keep this farm going is have a character in render distance that's active so that everything continues to go, because I don't think, I'm not 100% sure if it works while you're offline or not, but I don't think it does, because I think dude just kind of goes to sleep when you're not active. But I'm not 100% sure about that. I could be wrong. So if you know the answer to that, does this work when you're offline? Let me know in the comments so that I can know, so that I won't tell people wrongly. But I think you have to be active. So that's the reason why I have this chair set up right here, because when a character is in a chair, you don't time out after a certain set period, because a lot of times if you lay in a bed, just a normal bed, you'll time out and get kicked from the server. And that's why a lot of people will, you know, stick a rubber band around the controller stick of their controller and spin around in a circle constantly. Just leave it spinning so that it tricks the game into thinking they're still active, and they don't get kicked, and they just sit here and do this. And the game thinks they're active and it doesn't get kicked. But you can do the same thing by sitting in a chair. The chair doesn't register as you inactive for some reason, and it usually won't kick you or time you out. So now basically all I have to do is just be in render distance, have a character that's active, and once in a while I'm going to have to put some fertilizer in the crop plots. That, you know, I'm doing that. And the way that I'm doing that is I've got a beetle over here, and it's picking up the poopy and it's turning it into fertilizer. So once in a while I'll go over here and get some fertilizer, put them in the crop plots, and this stuff lasts forever. Now you could do that with owl pellets if you want to, or you could save your owl pellets to supplement the food on the GACHAs to cause them to make higher quality crystals. But for me, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want element dust. So obviously I've got both of my element dust GACHAs, the dust boy and the dust girl. I've got a mated pair here creating nothing but element dust crystals. Now once in a while they produce an item crystal, and I don't really understand why they do that whenever I have their production wheel set to produce only element dust. So I guess it's just a really good roll or something like that. When you get like a crit roll on the crystal, it tells it to make an item instead of the dust. I don't really know how to stop that. I would like to personally stop it if I could, because I only want element dust. I don't need gear. I got all the gear I could ever want. So basically, I just want to make dust. And this guy's going to run around and gather all those plant species wide, put them in this vault, and then once in a while I have to go over to the vault and just popcorn all the loot out. And it's easier that way than trying to run around and look at each crop plot and pick up a stack of 10 Y species trap, run over to the gacha, put it in their inventory, run in the next, look at blah 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 blah. It's so much easier to just let the robot pick it up. And then I just walk over to the chest and say, popcorn, popcorn, popcorn. And then the gachas pick it up and go to town. And then the Pegomastax picks up the crystals. And all I got to do is go unload the Pegomastax. Put them in my inventory. Once in a while I have to drop fertilizer. But, you know, that's it. And that has made the gacha farm so much more productive. So much more potential. And honestly, 1, 2, 3, 4 different crop plot sections of stacks of 5 is about all I need to keep this thing running, because that robot's running around picking these plant species Y up as fast as he can, putting them back in the box. By the time the gacha run out, I got more in the box to give them. And if you didn't know, you can stack these crop plots on top of each other like that. So, I mean, you could go as high as you wanted to, but I really don't know how high the robot can actually see to reach. So I decided to just stop with 5. It's a nice, nice number, and it's, right at shoulder height level for me. So I think the robot can see all of these easily. And he can take the items out of them at those levels. If I stack them too much higher, like if he was trying to look up like this to look at them, I don't know if he would actually work so well, so I don't know. I could put, another 3 on each stack, possibly, or something like that. I may try that just to see how it works, I don't know. But I just decided to stop with 5. Don't really have a reason just other than that. And, my crystals are just coming, and they're working great. The item crystals I usually just take over here to the grinder, turn it on, see what they are, and I usually just put them in the grinder, because I don't need gear. Because I've got maxed out blueprints for everything known to man, so I really don't need gear. It's just really nothing I need. And then I come over here and I grind everything. And then voila, you can see I have lots of resources over here. I usually have like 20 or 30 stacks of poly and everything else, but it all expired. Because I was too lazy to go put it in a preserving bin. But I've got 6, 9, 12. I've got 1,200 ingots, tons of pearls, tons of stone, tons of wood, hide, chitin, crystal. I'm even making cementing paste. So yeah, I got a ton of stuff. So the resources is no longer going to be an issue with gacha around. I honestly rarely even think I'm going to ever have to go harvest again. Which kind of sucks in a way, because I got dinos for that, and now I don't use those dinos, so I don't know. I've done so much harvesting in the game, though. I'm just kind of over that. I'm interested in finding other ways to make things happen like this. And I just, this is more fun to me right now. Trying to find a way to automate a gacha farm is where it's at for me. I need to get some food. About to die. Warrior is about to die. There we go. Get some food in me. So now let's open up all these crystals, and we'll see how much dust I got. I let it run for about 15 minutes. So this is what I got in like 15 minutes. Open them all up here. Oops, and I forgot some of the loot to put in the grinder. That's a good shotgun, but I've already got maxed out shotguns. Now the structures like stone reinforced behemoth gates, metal behemoth gates, stuff like that. I always keep all that because structures, it's just a pain to make something like that later when I need it. And it's always nice to just have a stack of behemoth gates around. See, look at all that poly from that one shotgun. You can have all the organic poly you'll ever need from grinding up these resources. You won't have to go do anything. And so yeah, I let it run for like 15 minutes. And this is what I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Enough dust to make 7 element in 15 minutes. So you tell me, is this profitable now or is it not? I think it is. Because honestly, I can make all the element I need now. And all I got to basically do is just do whatever I want to do and let these run. Run over here to the vault every now and then, dump out the species Y trap and let them work. Let them work. And now I don't have to deal with that garden up there. I mean, I do for my crops that I'm growing. I have 4 plots up there growing crops. But I don't have to worry about going up to that garden anymore, gathering the Y species myself. I don't have to get on the donkey and go farm stone anymore, which took hours. I got a great amount of stone because I'm in a perfect place for stone. So you can see here I have 54,000 in this box. So I mean, at any point I could take some stone and throw over there and help keep the farm going a little better. You know, I might do that right now. Let's do it. Let's just grab some and we'll throw them over there to the GACHA and see if we can make it in one toss. I don't know if we can or not. If I can't make it in one toss, going over there and picking them up and throwing them out one more time will definitely be enough. Let's see if they pick them up from there. No, they don't pick them up from there, but that's okay. Because all I gotta do is do that and then throw them out over here to where they can both get them. And that will supplement the plant species Y in their inventory and keep them going. I don't know if you get better loot with plant species Y or a higher amount of dust, I guess I should say, because I'm not really doing this for the items they're producing. I'm just trying to get them to make dust crystals, and it looks like this guy's stuck. Not really sure what he's trying to do. He's dumped his inventory into the vault, but now he's just kind of stuck there. And I don't know where he's trying to go. So I guess what I need to do is have him follow me. I don't think I enabled following just then. Gotta figure out where it's at. There it is. Alright, now he's following me. So let me get him out of that place that he's stuck in. Well, I'm trying to get him to follow me, but he's stuck good for some reason. So I guess what I'll do is pick him up and go set him back down over here. Oh no, don't you dare. He picked up my robot. You got to be careful when you... That was almost a problem because them things are expensive to make. So you got to be careful when you throw one down because that GACHA picked him up and he just about ate him. They'll straight up eat him too. Oh boy. Got to construct him and then put him on butler mode. I think he will still be programmed to do his business. Yeah, he's doing it. He's doing his business. All right, very good. Oh man, that was almost bad. Gotcha crystal. So yeah, this is pretty cool. It's a way more efficient, way less work. And see, just 5 minutes here. This is what I've gotten. Way less work, way more efficient. So much less time investment. So much less time investment. Did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. Whatever. I'll open up all these crystals and get all this dust. Put it over here for when I get ready. So I have 10 elements sitting there right now. Now a word about the transfer of the element dust into unstable element. I don't think I talked about that, so I might want to do that. Come on. Let me grind this stuff up real quick. There we go. Getting them all, boys. So one of the things about making element, I don't know if you're aware or whatever, but let's just talk about it real quick. To get element dust into element, you have to go into your crafting inventory and look for this right here. It's usually at the very bottom. It's unstable element. You can craft this and then it has a timer on it and it will count down. Each piece of unstable element will count down until it turns itself into element. So I've enabled wireless crafting, so it's going to allow me to do it without actually having to pick up the dust because I'm standing near the storage box where all the dust is. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to craft. If you look at my pop-up, you can see where it says on the Y button I have the craft all 9 because I have 9,000 something dust in that box and it takes 1,000 per element. So I'm going to tell it to craft all 9. And then if I look at my inventory, I can see the unstable element pop in there as it crafts it. It takes a little while to make each piece. So if you have an insane amount of dust, like, I don't know, 40, 50,000 dust, and you want to make, 40 or 50 element at a time, you probably want to set your inventory to craft it all and then go do something else, because it takes a long time to make that much unstable element and then let it count down into element. So like right now it has like a 2-minute spoil time on it. When the spoil timer runs out on each individual piece, it turns itself into element, and then you can use it as element and put it in the box or do whatever you want to do. Use it as a crafting component, whatever. Unstable element is just good for nothing else other than just turning itself into element. So now you can see I have multiple pieces going at once and they're counting down. As soon as that countdown goes down all the way to the left, it will turn itself into element. And I'm continuing to make the rest of the available unstable element that I can make with the dust that I have available. You see it says I have 6,900 of 1,000. It's because it takes 1,000 per piece of element and that's how much dust I got left. So boom, it just made another one. And now I just wait for this to turn into element in my inventory. And you can not go too far away from the box if you're doing it wirelessly, because if you get too far out of the box's range from where it pulls the resources from, it will stop the craft. So if you're going to do this, you may want to just, you know, leave your character there or lay down or something. That way you don't have a big stamina and food drain, or, you know, water and food drain. This just takes a while. So, I mean, you could go do the dishes and then come back in 30 minutes and you might have, you know, 60, 70 element, providing that you have that much dust in your inventory. So, yeah, it does take a minute. And I don't know if actually putting stats into your crafting skill will cause that to go faster or not. I've never experimented with that, so I don't really know. But if you know, then please tell me in the comments so that I can know. And then you see here that first piece that I made has finally turned itself into a piece of element. So boom, there you go. You got some element now. I pulled the element that I had in this box out and did something else with it the other day. I made some gates and stuff. But I had like 400 and something element in here just from running my farm for about a week. So it's possible, I know personally, it's possible to make 500 element in a week easy, because I do it all the time. And I work, I work a full-time job, so I'm not on here 24/7. I'm only on here a couple hours a day. The weekends I play a little bit more because I can have this going while I'm doing something else. I use a dual monitor setup, so I've got, something else going on the other monitor, make content and working on that or whatever, And I'm keeping my farm automated and running. So if you're looking for a way to make good element, you need gachas that produce dust, you need a robot, you need a pegomastax, and you need a dung beetle, and some plant species Y seed that you can get from the desert area, from the little purple plant that grows on the ground. The little purple bushes, just harvest those and they'll give you plant species Y seed. And that's pretty much all you need. Once you get it set up and going, you can just turn it on auto basically and let it go. Right here you can see that I got too far away from the storage box and it turned the craft off. So I had just a few minutes, a couple pieces left to make before it was done anyway. So I'll just let it finish. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I wanted to show you what I was able to figure out. Had I remembered about that robot right away, I would have used that from the get-go and saved myself a lot of pain and trouble on these first 4 videos. But now, this is the way. This is the way. This is the way to make element. Unless you just want to do boss fights and you enjoy doing that and you enjoy breeding up teams of dinos to fight bosses with, I mean, you could still do that. I just have done the boss fights so much that I'm just done with that. And one of the main reasons why I'm done with boss fights is I just don't want to have to go do artifact runs anymore. If there was a way to just craft artifacts, that'd be great. I'd do that. But I just don't want to go do artifact runs anymore. I don't want to do cave runs anymore. I'm tired of that. So I'd rather just find a way to passively make it my own self. And this is perfect. So if you got any ideas or any tips or suggestions of something that you could tell me that could help me be better, then by all means, let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk to you about it. And if not, I thank you for watching my content. I'll be making another video on something else now that I got the gacha farm conquered. I'm going to be kind of trying to decide what it is that I want to feature next, and I'll get on it and I'll bring you back in my next video and we'll see what Ark With Me is going to be like for the next chapter. So thanks for watching how to build a gacha farm, most effective manner on an official server. Remember, this is an official server, so if it was an unofficial, the whole game would be different because there's so many more things you could do. But on an official, this is about the best way to set it up right there with the tools that you have available. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you in the next Ark With Me. This has been Ark With Me number 5, the finale of the gacha farm. Thanks for watching.